Dear Kismet helps you dive into the mysteries behind cardology, or the astrology and numerology of the playing cards. We answer questions from our tribe and discuss world events and celebrities, all through the lens of this magical, ancient system. Our goal? To help you align with what is written in your cards and to raise the collective consciousness of the planet. If you go to our website, itiskismet.com, and enter your birthday, you'll get to your card's one-stop shop where you will find a 15-page report on your card and much, much more. You can also go to our site to find the cosmic connections, also known as the planetary energies, between you and another person. Now is the time for cardology to become as encoded in the collective energy as astrology and numerology are. So please tell your friends about Kismet. Hey everybody, this is our next episode of Dear Kismet. So I'm here today with Paula and Candy.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
And we are going to jump right into a letter from Maggie, who's having some love trouble. Take it away, Candy.
Yeah, so Maggie writes to us with this. I'm still in love with an ex who lives near me with his wife. We started dating when I was 18 and dated for 6 years. He wanted to marry me and waited in my hometown while I traveled and did my thing. Eventually, we broke up. He is now married. Every now and then I run into him and I completely freak out and freeze in place. I still love him and think about him all the time. What is this all about and how do I deal with it? So just to give a little bit more background, okay, she's a 5 of clubs. Her ex is a 3 of clubs. Their cosmic connection, which you can learn all about on our website, and you can enter 2 birth dates to find a cosmic connection between the two. So Maggie and her ex are a Moon, Mercury, and Venus connection, which has the energy of 2 peas in a pod. So just hearing that, Paula, I think of Maggie running into her ex at the grocery store and freezing in the produce section. Like she can't even move. And it's just so adorable. I just want to hug her and melt her, poor girl. So how do we help her?
Yeah, so first of all, that's a really tough situation because there's a lot of emotional pain going on for you. And interestingly, you have the emotional pain card twice in your hand. And right now it's about non-attachment, and you got to feel it to heal it. So anyway, the relationship was really, really yummy. And it's getting yummier with time as it sort of marinates in nostalgia. Isn't that great? I just came up with that. But yeah, it's marinating in nostalgia. And it's like, oh, it just gets yummier with time because there was such a focus on Venus and Moon Mercury. So what that is, Moon Mercury is you feel safe, comfortable, understood. There's even a little maternal energy in there. And the Venus connection feels just beauty, friendship, pleasure, what I love. So it's very, very, very comfortable. That's why we named it 2 peas in a pod. So it's hard to walk away from that. So they have a lot of connections with their 2 cards, but also with the royal archetype cards, which is the Queen, King, and Jack of clubs. And those are very significant to them because they're Leos. And we have a blog about that, so we won't go into that. But those 3 cards together are also going to have a lot of Moon Mercury connections and Venus connections. So the issue for her, how to resolve this, how to deal with what's going on. Okay, so that's why it was so yummy. The reason it's coming up for you is because you have to establish for yourself right now, what is home? What is comfort? How do I make myself feel safe? And that's one of the key issues for your card as a 5 of clubs. So 5 of clubs go out in all directions with their little sensors. They're very curious and they're also very sensitive. So their sensitivity can cause them to get burned or to become emotionally attached or to become guarded because they do tend to become so emotionally attached. So it's kind of this push-pull approach avoidance with warmth and love and those good things. And so this is one of those cases, like I said in one of the last videos, the most difficult thing not only might happen to you, it must happen to you. So this is one of those particular things that can happen to a 5 of clubs is because she's working on emotional pain, emotional non-attachment, and how to deal with that great sensitivity within her. And then the last thing is for her to really go into gratitude about this template of love that she got in her life. It was a gift. They have really strong past life connection ties. So I kind of get the feeling that this was like a childhood love that came in again to sort of reactivate, oh, that's what this feels like. but there is a certain amount of idealization going on. It's important to keep that in mind, and that your work, Maggie, is to really figure out what is it that I loved about him in particular and this relationship. Then take those characteristics and say, how can I create this in my own life? And the more you do your work around this, the less of a charge there's going to be.
So I have a question for you. I know in one of the other 2 times we've recorded this call for this question, you talked about us going through our Venus period from the ages of like 13 to 25, I think, and what that means to everyone, not just Five of Clubs people, what the Venus period means at that age.
Okay, good. Yeah. So Venus and our Venus card will rule our life from the ages of 13 to 25. And the primary question is, what is home? Also, who are my friends? What makes me feel comfortable? And they are connected. Okay, so this is something that I'm really getting into lately, and I might write a blog about this, but there are ways that the circle of 7 enters into a relationship that really intensifies the karma. And Venus is one of those planetaries, one of the circle of 7 connections they have. So when she was going through that particular period in her life, that was really highly activated. The Venus aspect, the past life karma, it just added a certain intensification to that 13-year period.
I was just going to say, Paula, as you were talking, I started to get the sense that perhaps Maggie is at a place in her life where there's a lot of change, and she's trying to figure out who she is and what she is. And so this remembrance, this nostalgia of this relationship brings forward all this comfort and safety that maybe she's doesn't have now and she needs to cultivate. So perhaps it's a little bit of shifting that's happening for her too.
Right. And her Saturn card, now this is a different, the 7-year period between 28 and 34. So how old is she?
She was born in 80.
She's 3 years younger than me, so she's probably like 38, 37.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, her Saturn card for life, which means kind of the long range difficult thing, is how to deal with really big change. Even though they are a double 5, that like in their little bubble of daily and momentary life, they need a lot of stimulation and they love interesting things. But as far as like relocating or, doing these big changes, that's going to create a lot of character growth for her. So she is looking for comfort and stability. And so she's one of those few people where they're like, they give her this person in person. Here, you get to run into this energy and get reactivated with it. So yeah. So exactly. So you can answer that question. Wow, this is what it felt like. And it hurts because I haven't created it for myself.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Thank you. So we are going to jump to a different topic, and we have decided to do celebrity crushes and like the opposite of crush or your arch nemesis. And that's because I would notice, just in general, people love certain celebrities and hate certain celebrities. And it just never really made any sense to me why some people love Taylor Swift and other people hate her and so on. So I decided it probably has something to do with the cards. So we're going to explore that theory. And we're going to start with Candy's crush and her arch nemesis, celebrity style. So Candy, tell us about these 2 crushes and your crush, your arch nemesis.
Yeah, so my crush is Justin Timberlake. I love him so much. I love the way he sings. I love the way he dances. I love the way he acts. I think he's super funny. I just want to bum rush a stage and hug him and maybe knock off his wife so I could become her. But that would be a little freaky, so I won't do that. So I love him deep down in my heart. At the same time, with all of the love that I have for Justin Timberlake, I have the same amount of hate or detestation. I don't even know if that's a word.
I like
for
it.
Tom Cruise. Like, ugh, I can't stand him. Everything about him, can't stand it. Icky.
Okay, so let me ask you a question about Justin Timberlake. Do you see him as a sexy, open-minded, kind of bad boy, but with integrity?
Yeah. I do.
Yeah, okay. So Justin Timberlake is the 9 of clubs, which is your karma card. And this is it's so common for us to have a charge, either positive or negative, around our karma card. And one reason is because it's something that we're working toward. So something that we mastered in a past life, and it's like, yeah, it's like we associate it with success. So the 9 of clubs is sexy. It represents being open at the top. And he's going to use his sexuality. And another reason this makes sense, that he really bakes your potato, is that he's a 9, and in the Enneagram, the 6 integrates to the 9, because the 6 is always dealing with this polarity. Am I this or am I this? If I'm a little naughty and I like color outside the lines, does that mean that I'm losing my integrity, which I value so much? And so they're figuring this out. Whereas a 9 just has it all swirled in together, and he's dancing and moving, and he's just being it. So he represents integration for you, and that's the turn on, is integration.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to integrate with Justin Timberlake.
By the way, Candy is a 6 of diamonds, so that's where that conversation about the 6 going to the 9 came from. And
so now we're going to talk about the icky factor of Tom Cruise. This all centers around the Ace of Diamonds. So your planetary ruling card, Candy, is the Ace of Diamonds, and his planetary ruler is the Ace of Diamonds, and he represents to you someone who is embodying that card in a lower vibration frequency. And even if he's kind of mid-range or even high vibration with this, okay, what the Ace of Diamonds is about is self. Are we self-absorbed, self-obsessed, self-centered, or are we self-aware, self-loving, self-forgiving? It's all about the self. So obviously Tom Cruise, he really triggers something for you in that arena. Well, the Ace of Diamonds is also a past life Saturn card for you. So you have it in your hand twice. You are it, and you're working on it. So there's going to be this experience of like hitting the mark sometimes and not hitting the mark. Like, so for example, you come into a party and you're really working on celebrating yourself. And then you forget to ask anybody how they were, and you go home later and you're like, oh my God, I totally forgot to ask Laura how her day was. And diamond females tend to do this. This is how I know this. I do this. We're all about sparkling. And sometimes, yeah, we forget. So anyway, that's the part of Tom Cruise that like he's really yanking on something inside you. It's this fear of being self-centered and all that ickiness. There are triggers for you around, how do I be selfish and self-caring without, going into the lower vibrations? So the solution for this is to give yourself room to be messy. Laugh at those mistakes when you didn't hit the target, and also know that, yes, it's this counterintuitive thing about being self-aware and self-caring and really focusing on myself sometimes. Sometimes that's my duty and responsibility as a human being rather than an indulgence.
So this is fascinating. So Justin is who I want to be, and Tom is who I don't want to be, but probably need to work on integrating a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Celebrate them both.
that's so funny.
Yeah. Okay, so who's your crush, Laura?
Well, my crush is Chris Martin, and I couldn't remember, and then Candy was like, you talk about Chris Martin all the time. And I'm like, okay, I do. I love Chris Martin above all. I love his music. It speaks to my heart. I love the way he's so like awkward and kind of weird when he dances. I like how he's tapped into consciousness. I think they had flowers of life symbolism all over their last album and during the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. And he has a message for people that I really resonate with. And then my opposite of crush is not someone people know really well, but he was on Gilmore Girls, and then he was in Supernatural, and his name is Jared Padalecki. And I was trying to find someone else that had a similar card to him, and the person I found that has a similar card to him is Demi Moore, and they're both 9 of clubs. Ironically enough, the same as Justin Timberlake, but I like Justin Timberlake, but I wouldn't say like I'm obsessed with him. So it's not like I don't like all 9 of clubs, but there are definitely a lot of 9 of clubs that I've run into where I'm just like, and it's sort of just feeling of just please get out of my face. And I don't like to look at your face. And I just feel like, please leave me alone and go away from me. So Paula, tell me why I love and hate these people.
Okay. I just love this because our humanness just comes out, and it's such an it's so healing because like we find it so adorable and sweet. Okay, so there are there so Chris, the guy with Coldplay.
First, I'm a
Sorry.
six of clubs. I'm a six of clubs. So Chris Martin is an eight of spades, right? Okay, go
Yes,
ahead.
Chris Martin is the eight of spades. So he is your karma card. So here we go again with this karma card with someone that we're attracted to. That is our karma card. So what really jumped out to me about this is that as an eight of spades, again, we're going to the karma cousin. The same exact thing we did with Candy. The karma cousin is the king of clubs, which represents I'm really confident, I'm really sure of myself. I know my truth. I don't have to apologize or persuade. It's just this beautiful place of self-knowing and confidence. So I guess I just have to say, is that how you see him? Is there a confidence in there that's just unapologetic and it doesn't need anything?
Yeah, and I don't know where the youthfulness comes in because I feel like he's also got this youthful quality that I really like too. So I know that the King of Clubs is probably not that card, but
Okay, well, the eight of spades, it's also Dr. Seuss's card.
yeah.
And their very first card is the Ace of Hearts, which is the baby card.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be, they're going to have the sage baby thing going on.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So what's really interesting to me about this, yeah, he's Mars to you vertically also, which means there's an attraction, there's a spark there. And I would roll around with this question a little bit. Look at your Mars in your astrological chart, your natal chart, and see what your relationship is to Mars. Especially since you're in Aries, there's going to be a real focus on Mars in general. So because the Nine of Clubs is also Mars to you, past life, there's a real charge with the Nine of Clubs, positive or negative. So what is that reflection about Mars? Why are you in Aries, I guess? How are you supposed to become an Aries in this lifetime? That might be one of the questions. Okay, here's the other really cool thing that I was so excited to tell you when I figured this out this morning. So the King of Clubs sits in a Uranus intersection. Uranus is all about uniqueness. And you guys are locked into the same life purpose on the planet. And that, I just get the chills when I say that. And they gave me those words. You're locked into the same purpose. So there was just like this, okay, let's get in this, Starship Earth, and I'm going to do this thing. And it has to do with raising consciousness because that's what Uranus is about. It's the Christ messenger to the planet. And it is achieved through our uniqueness. But anyway, okay, so do you want to talk about the icky ones?
Yeah, real quick, what's the Nine of Clubs? What's the rub with them? They just annoy me, basically.
Okay, here's another question for you, and this may be rather personal, and you don't have to answer this, but what is the role of sexuality? Because as I see it, this Nine of Clubs and Jared's energy and Demi's energy, there might be kind of a cocky, I'm going to use, or rather make use of my own sexuality to kind of get what I want. So there may be a sense of manipulation or deception or just the lower vibration of one's sexuality. And because Mars is such a focus for you, developing your sexuality in a really, holistic way and raising the vibration of it and that kind of thing. I mean, is there a charge around their sexuality in particular for you?
I don't know. I never thought about it that way, but yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah.
When you look at their face, just think of it, describe it with one word, or how it makes you feel.
It seems kind of sinister.
Yeah, there's a manipulation thing happening with that. And nines can be shapeshifters. That's the low side, is to take this caretaking ability and turn it into a shapeshifter and like a salesman and show you exactly what you want to see so that I can get from you what I want.
Yeah, it's hidden, something hidden. That's what it is. Tell us about your crush and your opposite of crush.
Okay. I love Jimmy Fallon so much that I think when I give my big speech at the cardology conference, I'm going to talk about him just because I love him, not because he has anything to do with cards. I pictured myself doing that. Okay, the number one thing I like about him, so he's a 5 of clubs, and I am the 7 of diamonds. So that gives us a Jupiter connection in the present life spread. So he shows me what I'm capable of and what my potential is. And I have to say that he is the archetype of the guileless inner child. And because of my 5 of spades as my Mercury card, and because I'm Virgo rising, not going to go into that, but it's sort of like upper level stuff. But anyway, I really resonate with the 5 energy a lot. And he is the inner child. He's guileless. He's safe. He's absolutely safe. I mean, you know, he'll have all these controversial figures on his program, and from Tom Cruise to Donald Trump to like all these people we love to hate, and he plays with them. He pulls out their inner child and he's like, we're not going into any of that trigger stuff. We're just going to play. And so I think that's why I love him so much. And I think that that Jupiter expansion is what he makes it safe for me to expand into that. So do you guys want to know who I can't stand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Conan O'Brien.
Ooh.
I spend 0 time observing him because I can't stand him so much. So I can't even tell you about him because I don't know about him because I can't stand him so much. Just like Laura said, it's like, I don't want to look at your face. I don't, just go away. So anyway, he is the 3 of diamonds and the 7 of diamonds, which is my card. So the thing that I figured out about this is that the 3 of diamonds has a lot of 7s in their hand, as do the 7 of diamonds. And so one of their big questions they have to resolve is, what do I do with all this sensitivity? And Donald Trump is also the 3 of diamonds. So the way I phrase it is that if they're not going to deal well with their sensitivity, they're going to turn into a bully. And they're going to try to push their pain outside them by causing pain. It's a really stupid strategy, but that's what a bully is. That's the anatomy of a bully. And so there's something about that, of course, that I just absolutely hate. I can't stand cruelty. But the shadow side of that is, can I stand in my truth even if I think that it might offend someone? If it, you know, so it's not that I'm going to be a bully, but can I stand my truth and be like, can I say no when it's time to say no? So there's a shadow aspect going on there. But another piece of it is that, this makes me hate him. I love it. Okay, another issue the 7 of diamonds has to deal with is inferiority. And when I look at him, I see someone who at his core feels really, really inferior, and therefore he has to belittle and insult and put other people below him. That's just the energy I get from him. And I look at that and I'm just like, that is the ultimate in the world, to make other people feel shitty because you feel shitty about yourself. And I think that is based on my integrity and my sense of, okay, I'm doing my work. So, you know, just quit raining on everybody's parade. So I don't know. There might be more to the fact that I can't stand them, but I even drew this picture on my little, sorry, it's so crinkly, my Starbucks notes of like the angel over here was Jimmy Fallon and the devil over here was Conan O'Brien, and thought, okay, taking that too far, but yeah, it's all about self-awareness and integration. So there you go.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, that wraps up this episode. And just to remind you, you can go over to our website, itiskismet.com, and you can look up your cosmic connections with your favorite and least favorite celebrities. And you can also get reports about those connections that are really in-depth, what you can do about those relationships, especially the ones you actually have in real life, not the fake celebrity relationships you have in your mind. And we also have a way you can look up your own card, and you can get a kit, which is a really in-depth exploration of your card and its hand. So we will see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
We had a viewer write in to ask us to make shorter episodes. So next week, look out for those shorter episodes to begin. Each episode will be its own individual topic, and we will be talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce's relationship next week. So check that out, do your work, and check out itiskismet.com to look up your card, your cosmic connections, and more. Please share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel.